Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're talking about 10 survival items you can get at Home Depot. Here's the first one. Look at this thing. So if you recognize the colors, they're not just Home Depot. This is from Fiskars, and they're just calling it their machete. I can tell you, like, as soon as I saw this thing, I'm like, it looks like a sword. I mean, you can almost get two hands on it. I gotta like squeeze them in. If you had probably had medium-sized hands, you could get two hands in there. So this is for hacking stuff up. So, you know, if you want to destroy, you know, cut through some brush, some underbrush to clear out things around your yard, certainly you could do that. A big blade like this you can use for a lot of different things. So you can chop branches, you can break stuff up. It comes, I would say, decently sharp. I would sharpen it up if I was going to really put this thing through the paces. The handle is very comfortable. As soon as I picked it up, I'm like, wow, that's really nicely designed. It's kind of rubberized in the orange section, and then it's like a hard, durable polymer of some sort in the black section. Like I said, it doesn't come super sharp, but it does seem to be quite hefty and strong. And I mean, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, yeah, that'd be a great tool just to have for a lot of things. A big chopping tool, I think, is a win in a survival situation. Now, some people might see this and say, oh, zombie survival, like that's not really where I'm going mentally. But, you know, let's say if the grid went out and you had to survive on your own for, you know, let's say 3 weeks, 2 weeks or something, having a good chopping tool like this could be definitely a win. Keeping like something like this in your car or your truck in a safe place where somebody can't access it and hurt themselves. But so you've got a chopping tool when you head out into the woods or you're out kind of off the beaten path. This could be a really cool thing. Now I'm going to run in all the info at the bottom here as far as your price point, and I'll put a full list of these items in the description section as well. There's a look at your sheath system. It's just ballistic nylon, very basic. It's got a loop. It's pretty small, so I don't know how easily you'd put that on a belt. You can fit a belt through there, but it would definitely be snug. You know, throwing this in a pack, or like I said, you know, if you're keeping this at home, you've got a big chopping tool. As soon as I saw this thing, I was like, okay, that's got to be in this video. And yeah, the Fiskars Machete. That thing is like a small samurai sword. All right, item number 2, right there. It's a bow saw. Low cost item, but a great item for survival, whether it's at your house, it's out in the woods, whatever it is. You know, I recently just got a truck, and so, you know, I'm thinking more and more about the gear that I can keep stored in the truck if I'm back in the backcountry. Having a good saw is great. The great thing about these is that A, you can swap out the blade. If you've never done it before, you're basically gonna pull this handle, release the blade, pop a new blade in, click this handle back into place, and you're good to go. The other thing is that like the cost is low, and I mean, you're getting a lot of length of pole there to cut with not a ton of investment, and you know, it's relatively easy to use. It's a bow saw. So you cut through things, it does the job. I like this one particularly because you can see right there, Fiskars bow saw, and then what's the exact phrase? Full lifetime warranty right there. Full lifetime warranty. So if you get issues with this, you can replace it. Great item to process wood. I remember years ago hearing Dave Canterbury talking about being able to process across wood, through wood, and into wood. So like, I think like a hook knife, a saw, and an axe, I think were the 3 tools that he had mentioned, you know, one of the forefathers of bushcrafting and wilderness living had said. So this is a great, simple, low-cost tool for survival. Here's another saw. I gave, I think, the exact same thing away to a friend of mine not too long ago. It's a saw, but it's a folding saw. So the advantage of this, obviously, is that you can fold it up, put it into a pack, put it into some sort of system, and it's much more compact and, you know, easier to carry than a bow saw, which is bigger. Also, your blade, you know, your cutting edge is away, so you're not going to get hurt. Another advantage of this guy, you can come out like this. You can do really weird angle cuts if you need to do so. The handle is relatively comfortable. It's probably, you know, just the right size for people with like medium to large size hands. If you have extra large hands, this may be a little bit small for you. You got a hole there if you want to put a lanyard or something like that on it. But another great cutting option. Like if you're not into the bow saw, you want something different, this could be an option for you. If you know folding saws, Baco and Silky, well-known brands, but they didn't have them at the Home Depot that I was shopping at. And I don't think Home Depot carries, they wouldn't carry Baco, but I don't even think they carry Silkies anyhow. Corona is available over at Lowe's. So, you know, another folding saw option similar to this, but Fiskars, obviously that's one of the big brands that Home Depot's carrying and promoting. But a folding saw or a bow saw, both great options for a survival situation for processing through wood, whether it's for fire, shelter, traps, whatever it might be. All right, here comes the beast. The Fiskars X27 splitting axe. This is a monster. As you can see, it's got this little handle here. You might think, oh, that's for like displaying it at the store. Well, yes, but also it does keep the blade covered. So when you want to use it, pop this out like this, use it, and then you got to kind of click the blade in underneath that little lip. Click this down, and now you can carry it safely without anybody getting hurt, obviously. So, and then you can carry it this way. So this thing is monstrous, 36 inches. It's got some heft to it. As you can see in this footage I'm about to roll in, I did some splitting with it. I mean, this thing has just got some serious weight. Now, if I remember correctly, Alan from Alone in season 1 had this axe, but I think he had the Gerber version, which essentially is the exact same thing. I think Gerber just rebrands from Fiskars for the axe. But you know, this thing is made to split wood up. The wood I was working on was still very fresh. It hadn't been cut down for very long, so it's still soft. It hasn't dried out, but I was still able to process through a bunch of wood. Obviously, another use for something like this could just be straight up destruction. You can use the axe, the cutting portion of the axe head. You can use the pommel. I always forget what the name of that is on an axe, but basically the backside of the axe for smashing and destroying things. This is the type of thing a lot of people who go off-roading will keep in their trucks, you know, in a part like a storage rack in the back, so that if they have to bust something up to get through, you know, cut down a tree or cut through, you know, something that's blocking the road, they would use something like this. So when I first got this, I was like, I wonder if I'd ever really use that. But now, having experienced the power of something like this is a great tool. And again, in a survival situation, chopping down trees, shelter, fire, processing wood, there's tons of ways you can use this thing. It's not going to replace a carving knife, but a great tool for survival situations. Again, I'm thinking home, wilderness, whatever it might be, having a big tool like this that can really get through wood and also be kind of just a general destruction tool, pretty slick. All right, tool number 5 is a smaller chopping tool. This is from Estwing. I haven't seen this style till very recently. So obviously you can drive nails, you can drive stakes into the ground. You can also pull things out. It's a bit big for smaller nails, I would say, but you could certainly use it for larger items you want to pull out of the ground. And then obviously you can use it to chop. Now, when I think about an axe, I generally think about, you know, it's basically like a hammer and a chopping tool, also just a straight up destruction tool if you need to break things up. This is compact. Estwing makes a great product. I feel like a lot of survival bushcraft folks, when it comes to their axe or their hatchet, are into those, you know, high end and great products like Grants vs. Brooks. But this is a solid product and not for a ton of money. So you can bust stuff up, you can chop up your wood, you can process your wood, you can make feather sticks. It's small enough that you can choke way up to do some detail work, but also you can definitely use it for some more aggressive chopping. Here's a look at your sheath. One snap there. You can see a loop on the back. All right, here's another tool, your basic pocket knife. Now, Costa is a company that Home Depot carries a lot of their products. I'll show you another tool made from Gerber in a minute, but just a good solid pocket knife is a great tool to have all the time. So whether it's in the woods cutting stuff, whether it's, you know, cutting jute, cutting twine, cutting boxes, it's not recommended that you use this type of tool to, you know, like pry and stuff like that. But you certainly, you know, if you're in a survival situation, you can use a knife in a lot of different ways. You can say this one's got a combination of serrations and the plain edge. And I would say that Home Depot has a pretty large array for, you know, a home supply store, if you will, of pocket knives. So they've got ones made by like Milwaukee, they've got Costa, they've got Gerber. I think they might have some SOG as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a wide variety of options. I went with this one just because I liked the way it looked, and I thought that's a cool basic utility knife that somebody could use. And obviously, you know, I'm a person who always wants to EDC a knife. But having a knife in a survival situation, again, whether at home or in the wilderness, even in an urban situation, a good pocket knife is a great item to have. And Costa, not super expensive for a pretty decent product for what it is. Now here's a survival tool that I think is sometimes underrated, a good solid pry bar. Now I bought this one and then I went home and I think I have the exact same one hanging up in my basement. So I can tell you that, you know, using a pry bar for obviously prying is helpful. But I mean, this thing, it's just a honking piece of steel. So you can smash through stuff with this. I mean, you can bust stuff up. If you can get a little bit into a piece of wood and you want to split it, you get this guy down in there, get some leverage, and you can split wood with it. This is certainly not going to replace an axe or a saw in general. But if you know how to swing this thing properly, you can use it quite aggressively and break stuff up. Again, I'm thinking about in general survival. This is not something you're going to carry in your backpack, but to have a good tool like this in your house or in your vehicle, I think is a great option. This one is the 24-inch. Smaller than this, I think, is okay. Something bigger than this gets a little bit unwieldy in my mind. This, when I hold it like this, I feel like, okay, it's like, you know, a very short baseball bat, but I could really hit with this side or hit with this side to break something up. So yeah, it's kind of maybe outside the box for some people, but I think a good pry bar can be a great survival tool. All right, here's one that has actually quite impressed me. This is another one from Costa. This is a flashlight. It's got a light on the front, it's got a light on the side, it's got some red light options. So again, in an emergency situation, survival situation, to be able to see what's going on at night, that's a huge deal. So let me talk about the kind of normal flashlight portion first. So as far as your lumen output, you've got 105, 380, and 800, and I'll show you that real quick. And it looked like it was flashing on the camera, but that's just because the way the light interacts with the camera. You also have a twisting option, so you can make it a wider beam or a tighter beam, which is cool. And then your side, you got some light there. Second light coming out, so both sides. Hit it again. Let me see if I can get the red light for you. There's the red light right there. There's your flashing red right there. And then off. You're looking at 360 lumens with one of the side lights and 510 lumens if you have both on. The other thing is you got a magnetic base there, so you can attach this to something to get light, you know, and be hands-free. This runs off 4 AA's. So the good thing about that is that while you can't plug it into your, you know, house and recharge it, plug it into your, you know, outlet and recharge it, AA's easily accessible. So I've talked about this before. I like your 18650s and other lights like, or other batteries like that. But to have AA's, I mean, it's a common thing. And for somebody who's maybe just thinking about being a little bit more prepared for natural disaster or something like that, it's nice to have basic as opposed to them having to learn a whole new kind of system of flashlights. Lanyard loop right there, a lanyard slot right there, and it's durable. As soon as you pick it up, you're like, yeah, that thing feels strong, feels durable. So another great survival item that you could pick up at Home Depot. Now this next one's still in the package because I'm gonna do a giveaway with this one. So this is the Gerber Suspension Next. It's a multi-tool. Great thing about a multi-tool is that it's a multi-tool. The downside is that it's a multi-tool. So it gives you a variety of options. None of the individual options are gonna work as well as a dedicated set of pliers, a knife, a screwdriver, whatever it is. But this one's got 15 different options. So it's got needle nose pliers, standard pliers, wire cutters, scissor, medium flathead driver, ruler, file, wire stripper, awl, large flathead driver, bottle opener, can opener, small flathead driver, partially serrated blade, cross driver. So it's got a lot of features. A multi-tool is a great thing to have. Gerber, you know, Leatherman is the best in my opinion, and most people I think agree with that. Best multi-tool company out there. I do like SOG. Gerber makes some good options. I haven't used this one. I've used some of their other ones that I've liked, but I'm gonna give this away, like I said, so stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll tell you how you could possibly win the Gerber Suspension Next. But back to the survival topic, great to have a multi-tool available to you. The great thing about it too is you can carry it around all the time. So you've got all those tools just right there in your pocket. If something goes sideways, then you're good to go as far as having a multi-tool with you at all times. Now this last item, you're probably gonna go, really? And as far as survival, I'm saying, yeah, really. The Home Depot bucket. If you had to collect water, now you got a way to collect it and carry it. If you had to collect other items, this is how you can collect it and carry it. I do have the lid right here. So this offers you the opportunity to put something in it and then to keep it covered so it doesn't spill out. Obviously this thing can click down really secure if you've ever used these before. So now you got a way to not just carry things, but also carry them securely and maybe even store them. This is also a way to carry even just gear. One of the first survival kits I ever made was either from Home Depot or Lowe's or maybe both. And the bucket was my carry option because they didn't have backpacks at that time. They had like some tool bags, but I thought, well, the bucket's multi-use. You can carry stuff with it and then you can use the bucket. Obviously, I mean, this is kind of gross, but you can use it for a toilet too if you had to do that. So, and you literally would just flip it upside down and now you got a seat to sit on. So, container. Great to have a container in a survival situation, and here's an option. So there you have it, 10 survival items from Home Depot. Now let's hear from you. Which of these items do you like? What do you like? No, not so much. What other items would you replace? Take one of these out and put one of your items in. Let's hear that in the comment section. Now, with that said, I said I'm gonna be giving away the Gerber multi-tool. So in the comment section, you gotta tell me your thoughts on the video and then just say the words, I want that multi-tool, exclamation point. and you'll be entered to win. And I'll come back in probably about a week or so and randomly pick somebody who's commented with that line, and then you could be the winner. All right, guys, thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Bureau as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.